Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about the new California concept. So obviously I went to Dusseldorf not too long ago and took some video in there as well. Very kindly they allowed me to go onto the stand. Obviously that was during the normal day that the public were allowed to go in and see that. Didn't get any backdoor access or anything like that, so obviously it was very difficult to kind of show you and talk to you about what was in the vehicle at the same time because there were people around. The noise levels, as you can imagine, being in there was very loud, and so a lot of the audio we couldn't unfortunately use when we came back as well. So today anyway I'm going to talk you through some of the bits that we've looked at that's in there, so give you an idea and a flavour of what those things are, and obviously we're going to overlay that with some of the video which we took on the day. So we're going to start from the front of the vehicle. Now obviously this is a standard multivan front, doesn't look any different really to anything else. The one on the stand was the hybrid version, and you can see now we've got a clip in where you actually plug in to the side of the vehicle, so that will be slightly different. Obviously you'd have a flap there. If it was a diesel version you wouldn't have that flap, which is in there either from on there. Dashboard etc that's in there as well, very similar, no different. Obviously it's when you get into the back and the actual body sides around the back which is different as well that's there. So first thing, obviously we need to point out two doors. Obviously we've got a door on both sides of the vehicle, and that allows us something very different, not what we've had before, but it is very good because a lot of people comment about with the current vehicle being on the wrong side. Obviously that's the wrong side for the curb side. I don't really think it matters anymore here. People don't get in and out on that particular curb side. You park on the other side, etc. Never been a problem for me anyway, but it is nice that you've got two doors on both sides so you can jump in and jump out. So we've got the awning on the left hand side of the vehicle, on the one that was actually at the show, and then a bit of a canopy on the other side. Now that canopy, I can see that being something that you're going to get as an aftermarket thing, afterwards as an accessory possibly, or from the factory. I might be wrong, it might be standard that's in there as well, but you'll get an awning on one side and an awning on the other. Will you be able to put an awning on both sides? Let's wait and see. Instead, it is a concept version this, but I'm pretty sure it's 90% there, I think, probably at least with what we're actually going to get when the vehicle comes through. So we've got the awning on that side which comes out, and then we've got our kitchen unit which we're all used to along that same side as which it's on now, but obviously it stops to give you access to get out. I'll show you a little video now as well because the top of it does move as well, so that whole top can move in and out just on the top section to give you slightly extra bit of workspace that you need. So on that actual worktop on there, obviously we've got a single gas burner which is on there, and then you've got the sink at the back, which is very cleverly done. I like the colours of those as well. I thought it was very modern looking in the colours we run as well. I think there'll probably be a bit more hard wearing that's in there, and they certainly I think look a lot cleaner because you know what the stainless steel one's like that we've got at the moment. Obviously you can polish it up etc on there just as you can at home with your your kitchen worktop etc, but the darker interior there I think as well with the wood finish I thought really set it off. It was a very modern look that's there. If you look at other camper vans, they're all kind of going that way. There's a general feel I think in the market that that's how they're doing it on these. So you've got your sink obviously at the end that's on there as well, and then you've got your big tablet which is against the actual cupboards on the side there as well, and that was obviously you can use the app on there as well, and lots of good things I would imagine will be driven through that app interface and on the big tablet there which was on the screen. And then below that is where you had your drawers, and in those drawers obviously you've got things like, for example, your cutlery and things like that you can put in there as well. So in the kitchen unit on there we obviously had the slide out drawers which had things like cutlery etc in there, and it's worth pointing out those slided into the vehicle, or if you're on the other side, slide it out. So it was like bringing the outside in, so you've got access to it on both sides. And then moving along from there, we've got storage, etc. There was you could pull out a rack that was in there to put things like teas and coffees and other things that were in there as well. You had your electrical connections, I think were on the bottom of those as well. So things like, for example, plug socket access, you could get into there as well. And then that's where below that's where it started to get a bit wider then. And I think that's the clever thing that it's done. So it's kept this distance quite wide that's in there, and then it gets a bit bigger down towards the bottom. And you need that for things like, for example, the fridge. And the fridge has moved from rather being top loading to being a drawer fridge, and that pulls out just kind of like the Grand California really from the front of that particular unit, and that's where the fridge is located that's in there. And the important thing about that is you can access that then very easily from inside or out. And you're going to hear me use these phrases a lot because this is what this vehicle was all about. It was having the ability to do things in and outside at the same time. So you could be cooking on either side that's on there. You could be outside or inside as well. And that was definitely a feel that we got with this vehicle as well. Is show you a little clip now about the barbecue that was in there. So this is the electric barbecue. So simple an idea, perfectly designed to slot in and out. You just pull it out, put the legs up, put it down. Obviously you've got to plug it in. That's on there as well, but so easy to do. I'm sure if you know somebody who's got a California, if you own a California that's in there, I know, most people know, there's not a huge amount of cooking goes on in a California. Some people do, so not to take it away from on there, some people do lots of cooking that's in there. But the majority of people I speak to don't do a great deal. They might boil a pan, they might make something with hot water, they make drinks, there's things like that, for example. They certainly don't cook breakfast in it. That's the thing, that's generally done outside in a little gas cooker that's in there, where your barbecue will be perfect for that. So let's see those type of things come through from there. And that's where there's a little light as well next to that barbecue section. You plug it in and it comes out. Everything just felt very well made and very solid in the way that you are handling these. And that's what that whole unit there is about. And then obviously then after that it goes into storage, which we've got on the current vehicle that's there, and then our overhead storage as well, actually at the back. No speakers in it this time, which is quite good, so you've probably got more volume of storage that's in there than you had previously with the actual vehicle that goes in there as well. So really impressed with that kitchen area that's there. I think it's the right balance between what you need and allowing you to have the space that's there and looks great. I can't wait to actually get my hands on one of these so we can actually show you properly in detail how it works, where these things are that's in there. As I said, unfortunately I was in with the general public when we were there in Dusseldorf, so there was lots of things going on at the same time. I was also very conscious that I didn't want to take everybody else's time up as well, looking around the vehicle as well. And then as we move around to the back of the vehicle, so some shots now from the rear of the vehicle, you can see obviously the bed extension, there's a comfort mattress that's there as well. That mattress did seem to have a very hard board on it, which I think's a telling tale, so I think that's going to be standard, where at the moment it's an option to have that mattress in. I think pretty much you need this to make the bed. So I think this is going to lie down on top of the seats, got a harder, felt like it had a harder base, and then that would create your bed off there, obviously on what's already down there with the seats, for example, being folded, that's in the back of the vehicle that's there. That's one thing we didn't get to obviously do, didn't get to play with the seats and things as you can expect that's in there, but I can imagine how that would work with them coming forward, down, and then that rolling forward as it does at the moment. And then onto the left hand side we've got our shelves. We all know what that's about, no different that's there. That's in there, so you've still got that storage section that's in there. And then underneath your tray, obviously again, you've got storage that you're used to. A lot of this stuff that you're seeing now is no different to where we are currently. How you can work with the storage that's in there, so we've got all that storage space underneath, which can be very cleverly packed. And I think there's more storage in some of the areas that we haven't seen before, like the pull down, for example, from the top. So let's talk about the roof. If you look from the outside of it, it looks different as far as the colours are concerned, but if you have a really close look, it's the same roof which you've got currently. Obviously it's got a different top on it that's on there for the vehicle side of it, but it looks the same kind of mechanics of it, how it actually works as the current model that's doing that. I think this is why it's on the longer version, and this as well is because that roof mechanism actually fits within that space as it comes off from on there as well, to make it easier for a pop-up roof. I heard somebody tell me exactly the same thing, I think, on the ID Buzz model as well. I think the long wheelbase version is more adaptable for putting that type of roof mechanism in there that gives it. As far as your bed upstairs is concerned, no different to as we are currently. Obviously it's slightly different in the design of it, but it's got the individual pockets that's in there as you underneath the bed and the mattress side of it. It just looks like home from home that's in the top section on there. So no real differences there. Very, very good. Obviously we didn't see this vehicle with the roof down. I've only seen other shots that people have shown with the roof down that's on there, because as I said, it was all static where it was. Now obviously the roof bellows you can see is a slightly different design that's in the top section, and obviously you've got those the vents that's in there as well to give a lot more open space. I like that. I thought it looked nice as well from outside as well. And then finally inside, let's just talk about the seating arrangements in there. So we've got two captain chairs, if you like, that swivel around, the driver and the passenger one. Then the seats behind that are the multivan seats, which already there's two of them, and they obviously work on the rail system that's in the vehicle, so they can move up and down, and that's what forms part of the bed that's in the back of the vehicle. And they are independent, so there's two separate seats, where obviously currently we have one large bench seat. So there's two particular seats that's in there as well. I think they're going to be removable. I think they're going to be easily removable. which I think is quite important because again, it's the versatility of the vehicle. So you can take those out and then you've got a huge cavernous area that's in there, because I'm sure the back section will be removable as it is currently as we speak at the moment. So it's a van for both uses on that on there as well. And then finally, I suppose we should talk about, you know, it is a different vehicle to the 6.1. You know, it's a move away from what that vehicle is, and it's not trying to be an exact copy of that vehicle, because this is a concept vehicle. And the whole point of Dusseldorf for Volkswagen was to get feedback from customers that were there. How do you like it? Do you think this is good? Do you think this is good? And to get the feedback from the people that were at the show. And also as well, there's lots of feedback when you put feedback on our comments section, for example, in videos like this below, as with other ones as well. I am sure, I can pretty much guarantee it, that somebody at Volkswagen probably reads through those comments and goes, oh, actually, that's a fair one, that's a good idea. Yeah, I can kind of see where they're going for this is an idea as well. So it's important. You might not think that, but people do read these things and see where they are as well. Because I know a lot of you out there, you're not quite sure about this. You're not sure about the size of it, and you're not sure about, you know, because it is quite a bit different from the 6.1. And I can give you my reasons why I think some of that is you're probably right. But on a positive side, moving forward, I think this is a great thing that's coming. I'm sure you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, give us a thumbs up and give us a like. As I said, pop those comments in the comments box below so we can have a look at those, see what you think between the vehicle. Hopefully this explains a little bit more to you about what's actually in the vehicle as we've gone round with the sink and the hob and the fridge, for example, that's in there as well. Fingers crossed at some point next year, obviously we're going to get this vehicle, we'll get our hands on it as always and give you a proper good tour round. So last but not least, if you don't subscribe, and I'll see you next time.